Alright, good morning team. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to make my famous, it's a French toast, nut butter, jelly sandwich, okay? So again, that's a nut butter French toast jelly sandwich, okay? And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you exactly how to make it nice and quick, right? And I'm also gonna show you how to use the scale, the food scale, all right? So pay attention. All right, guys, so to begin with, you need 2 eggs, right? It's just, all you need is 2 eggs. You need egg whites, right? These are the ones that I use. And the scale that I use, right, is this Ozeri, right? So you have the tear option and you have the units, okay? So basically what I do, right, is I turn it on, right? I set it to grams. When you press unit, you can change between pounds, ounces, milliliters, and grams. Typically, milliliters and grams are exactly the same, all right? So what I do, right, let's say for example, you also, guys, you need butter. So you need, I use Kerrygold, right, pure Irish. And what I do is that I break off a piece, right, about an eighth of the bar, and usually comes out to about 24 grams. So look, if I take these 4 pieces out, it would give me negative 18, right? So now if I hit the tear button, right, if I hit this tear button, it sets it back to 0, right? So I already put one. I broke it into 4, right? Because it was 1 slice, 1/8 of the bar. I broke it into 4, so I put 1 in the skillet, right? Making sure that it's nice and hot. And the other 3, I put them in here, right? And the piece of bread. And then I have like a little container here, little pan. I put 184 grams of egg whites and the 2 eggs. I mixed it in, and I also added 2 little teaspoons of Splenda to give it a little bit of a sweet taste. All right, guys. So then the last thing I do, right? So after I mix it all in, I put the bread inside the little batter right here, right? It's just egg whites and 2 eggs, right? I mix it up really good. And once I'm done, and once the butter is melted, I use 1/4 of that slice, that 1/8, right? So remember, so I got 1/8 of the bar of the Kerrygold butter. Then I broke it into 2 halves, right? Into 4 pieces. Sorry, into 4 pieces. I put 1 inside here, right? And now all I do is just put it in there. Now, typically, what I do is with my phone, I set a 1-minute timer. So after 1 minute, I flip it, right? Then, while I flip it, right, while this one's cooking, I'm getting another piece of bread, right? And I'm just putting it in the batter, right? So, do one side. Right? Basically, I just flip the other side. Now, guys, this is very easy. I usually, for myself, I make 2 sandwiches, right? Both sandwiches, once you add all the ingredients up, it's about 1,200 calories, right? Depending on what type of bread you use, how much butter you use. So that depends on your goals, right? For most people, I would say eating 3 meals a day is more than enough. These count as meals, okay? So I eat 1 post-workout. I eat another 1 or 2 o'clock in the evening. And then I eat my meals, my last meal, right? My last meal is the biggest to make up whatever amount of calories I need to eat, right? That's 1 minute, guys, right? So I come in, right? And then nice and easy, I flip it. You want to flip it nice and easy because you don't want to burn, you don't want the oil to jump up and burn you, right? So again, now I'm doing another minute, all right? So 1 minute's more than enough, guys. I put it in about a little bit of a medium fire, right? It'll be nice and yellowish, a little bit white, so it won't be black, right? but a minute is more than enough. After that minute, I put it back into the plate, right? I like to flip the bread one or two times, right? While the other one is being baked, right? And then a few other ingredients that you need, right, is peanut butter or whatever nut butter you want to use, jelly, and I use about an ounce of cheese, an ounce and a half of cheese, right? I go through the same process. I break it up and I do half and half of everything. I do 1 serving of nut butter. So if 30 grams is the serving for nut butter, right? I use 15 on one bread, 15 on the other. If 1 serving is 15 grams of jelly, I use 15 grams and 50 grams. For the most part, everything I do is 1 serving, right? Actually, plus minus 30 grams, which is about an ounce of everything, right? So I use about an ounce of butter, about an ounce of nut butter, about an ounce of jelly, and of course 2 slices of bread, and 3 to 4 servings of egg whites, depending on my protein needs. All right. So that's 1 minute and a half. So this one is done. Right. Comes to the plate. Right. And now, guys. So then, right. This is what it looks like. Right. It's a nice, well-made. It's hot. Nice, well-made French toast. Right. So I grab the second one. Right. Same thing. Right. And in it goes, right? 1 minute. While that one's being cooked, grab another one, put it in. Right. And what's gonna happen is, sometimes, depending how much egg whites you use, you might have a little bit left over, right? After you do all 4 breads. But what I do is that I put it in, I make a little omelet, and I put it in one of the sandwiches. And if I get enough, I'll put a little bit, half and half of an egg omelet on each sandwich, right? So making sure I use all the tools possible, right? All the ingredients to the maximum. All right, guys. So as I explained, right? So while one is cooking, this one's almost ready, right? So while I take the one that's already cooked on both sides, right? And you have this beautiful, right, French toast, right? What I do is that while the other one is in the batter, right, getting mixed, I add the other butter, okay? One thing to note, guys, is depending on how sensitive you are to wheat and etc., you choose the bread. You can eat white bread, you can eat whatever type of bread you want, right? The high fats, the eggs, protein is gonna satisfy you, right? I like using whole grain bread. It's actually very good for my stomach. It does not bother me. But some people might be like, it might have cause you an upset stomach. So then you might want to try using white bread and see how that works out. Okay. Don't worry about the whole high glycemic loads or anything like that. The actual butter, the fact that you're eating more fats, will still satisfy you and won't give you any type of sugar rush or anything like that. Okay. So it's a healthy way to do things, right? All right, guys. So right? My ingredients are, for today. Today I'm going to use this Stonewall, right, wild made blueberry jam. But I also use, I actually bought, right, all 4 flavors from Stonewall, right? They have like a little package where they have strawberry jam, and they have like a few other flavors, right? I like Stonewall, okay? So, but I mean, you guys can use pretty much any jam that you want, right? For cheese, I use Cabot. I love Cabot cheese, and I love the hot habanero, right? So again, what I'm gonna do, right, is I'm gonna get an ounce of cheese, actually 1.5, right? And then I'm gonna do 30 grams of the jam, which 1 serving is 15 grams, right? And sorry. My last bread is ready. Look at that, it's beautiful. And then now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to weigh all this stuff, right? So let's go through it. All right, guys. So, right, here's the cheese. Right. Here's my scale. All right. I'm gonna put this plate on top of the scale. So right now, right, the scale has a reading. Right. We're gonna hit the tare button, so it could be at 0. Right. And we're gonna start adding little pieces of bread till we get 1.5. Right. So I'm gonna add. All right. So I'm gonna put these units in ounces. All right. And so right now it's at 0 ounces. So first slice, put it in. All right. That's 0.32. All right. That's 0.78. 1.09. 1.45. So I'll leave it at 1.45. So usually I get between 1.5. I want to get 1.5, but sometimes I get 1.6 and I just leave it. I got 1.45 right now, right? As you can see. All right. It's right about there. I hope you guys can see it, right? So it's 1.45. All right, guys, and just so you guys can a review of how to weigh this, right? So right now it's in grams. So my cheese, I'm gonna weigh it in ounces. So I'm gonna hit the unit. That's pounds, ounces, right? So now when I put this plate on there, it reads 34 ounces. So I'm gonna hit the tare button, right? So I already showed you how I cut all the 4 slices, right? So I cut 4 slices of cheese. So when I cut the first one, I put it on, right? It said 0.46, right? The second slice was now 0.81, 1.09, and 1.45, right? So that's how I weigh the cheese. Now the jam, right, is going to be weighed in grams. All right, guys, so now the wild Maine blueberry jam. Again, so I'm gonna set this, right, to 0. Set the scale to 0 by hitting the tare button. And I'm gonna put units, right, in grams, right? So now my scale is set to 0. Now I'm gonna add 15 grams, right? Because it says it here on the serving, 1 tablespoon, 15 grams, right? So I'm gonna add 15 grams to one of the sandwiches, all right? So right now, there's 14 grams, okay? That is pretty close, right? I'm gonna split it out, okay, to what I want, all right? And I'm gonna put about 15 grams on the other one, okay? Spread it out. That reads about 30 grams on the money. So actually the other sandwich is gonna have a little bit more, right? I can also just, you know, take some from the other side and just to make it even, but it's very minute, right? And just so you guys can see this, right? Like the blueberries, you can see like a bunch of little balls, right? It's almost like real blueberries, right? So that's 30 grams. So that's 1 serving. We're done with this, all right? We're done with the wild Maine blueberry jam. Woo, okay. Now for my nut butter today, I'm using Nikki's coconut butter spread, okay? It's pretty creamy, so it's really oily, but it's really good. So yeah, that's what I want. I want high fats. So 2 tablespoons, right? And it's on average, any nut butter, 32 grams is more or less 1 serving. So I believe for Nikki's is 28, but I'm gonna use 32 grams anyways, right? Actually, I'm gonna go about 32, guys. Don't be so specific. If you go over a little bit, but we're always going for about 30 grams, okay? So I set this to 0. All right, set the tare to 0. And now we're gonna add Right. So that is, right, 7 grams. Right. 14 grams. So that's about 15 grams right there. And I'm gonna add 15 grams to the other one. Right, so if you guys notice, I'm making 2 sandwiches on this one plate. Okay. That right there is about 30 grams. Okay. So it came out to about 31 grams on the money. Okay. So, right, and then, and guys, this is what more or less it looks like so far. All right. And now I'm gonna add the cheese, right? And honestly, what I like to do for the cheese is I like to break it up into more pieces, right? So I have 4 different little slices, and I like to spread it, right? So I got 1, 2, right? 3, 4. Beautiful. Same thing for the other one. All right. I like to put a couple of them along the edges so the nut butter doesn't spill out. Still spills out a little bit, but that's all right. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so I got my 4 pieces of cheese, right? Just like that. And then the sandwich is pretty much done. So now all I do, right, is I cover it. Okay. And voila, you have my world famous sandwich. Oh, one little piece information is we had some leftover, right? So what we do, right? Throw it in there. We'll leave it for about a minute. Flip it over, and I got myself a little omelet. So that omelet is pretty big, right? So I'm either going to split it in half and put a piece on each, or I'll just put it on one of them. And that one that I put it on is gonna be my post-workout, because that's where I want the most protein and I want the most calories after my workout. And but most likely I'll just cut it in half and just half and half. All right. Okay, so what I did after the omelet was done, I put it in one of the sandwiches, just one of them, right? And then typically, right, what I like to do is that while I go and finish getting ready, I'll leave it. I'll put this in low, right? So I'll put I'll put the skillet in low. And then I put the sandwiches in there so the cheese can melt while I'm getting ready. And then I put it in the containers and I'm ready to go. So where I do it, right? Plate up top. It should be in low. And then it's just what it's gonna do by keeping it in low, all that heat is gonna melt the cheese, and I have some melted cheese. And it'll keep the nut butter in place. It won't drip to the sides. So, all right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you guys try it out. Again, you can use any cheese. If you don't like cheese, don't use cheese. Use cream cheese. Go crazy with the ingredients, but it's a very simple way to make some easy meals. You can use low-carb breads, right? You can use wraps, coconut wraps. Anything works. In the end, what you're trying to do is you're trying to make yourself either a little wrap or a little sandwich in the same style. And I'm also going to post the macros at the end of this video. And I'm also going to post it on my website. So if you guys have any questions, let me know.